Irish culture, the Merry Wake is a funeral tradition characterized through the Carnivalesque, in contrast to a typical funeral most people are used to celebrating. The Merry Wake can be described as an uplifting and expression of dance, feasts, and games. This festival can last up to 3 days and is typically held in the family of the dead's house. This is a celebration of life, not to mourn the dead. In this video, we are going to discuss 3 different features of the Merry Wake. This includes the rituals involved in this custom, Keating as a display of public sorrow and grief, and the attitudes of church towards this popular practice.
Father Sean O'Dwyn describes some superstitions surrounding the Merry Wake, such as stopping the clocks at the time of death and covering or turning away mirrors as a sign of respect for the deceased. People also made sure nothing was thrown out of the house until the funeral was over, because doing so would be disrespectful. In addition, the only items that were brought into the house were for the dead. Specifically, the items that were purchased during the Merry Wake included tobacco, snuff, and chalk pipes.
Keening was a public performance and expression of sorrow towards the dead. Keening women were hired to cry out, which helps guide the dead into the afterlife. Her main role was to display to the dead the feelings of the family felt over the loss of their loved one and help provide comfort for the dead to pass between this world and the next. A Keening woman was highly skilled in ritualistic methods, similar to how the priest blesses the dead to pass on to the afterlife.
Unlike most of the population, the Catholic Church did not agree with the practice of the Merry Wake. They saw the games and rituals as a challenge against their authority and publicly detested the act. The citizens used the drinking and games in the Merry Wake as a way to diminish the Church's authority. The clergy felt like the citizens were undermining them by not bringing the deceased to the church to have a proper funeral ceremony. The Irish started viewing death as no great loss, according to James Joyce. The church was shocked by the movement from the funerals in the church to the celebration of death in homes. Due to the popularity of the Merry Wake, it became an act that the church could no longer control and is now widely accepted.
The Merry Wake contained different aspects that were highly important to the rituals of the dead. They memorialize and celebrate the life of the person instead of mourning the dead, which became widely known as one of the most popular carnivals in Ireland. Its high attendance and joyful games allowed for grieving families to be surrounded by company in a difficult time when a loved one has been lost.
Carnival spread to celebrate festivities like Carnival der Kulturen, Notting Hill, Carnival de Nice, and many more. Festivals and carnivals became popular because it brought people together to dedicate to accomplishments, people, or events, thus allowing people to drop their daily responsibilities and converse with people like their families and friends. Carnivals often gave people a sense of renewal and escape from their life to just enjoy the celebration with family and friends.
According to Mikhail Bakhtin, in his book Rebellious and His World, carnivals became the central part of life to provide comical experiences and reenactments of different time periods. This was very similar to the Merry Wakes, which used the church as a center of many jokes and games, which was a way for people to feel free to criticize the church in a humorous manner. Most Carnivalesque people would dress up like clowns or fools to entertain audiences and evoke laughter. Once entering a carnival, it was hard to exit because it becomes part of the person and the experience starts to take over their reality. Moreover, carnivals were an escape from reality to allow communities to come together to enjoy company and forget their worries.
We were going to do it if we were going to do a video of ourselves or going to different places, but then we just decided that it would be easiest to capture pictures and then just talk over them using iMovie. So then we, for the research, we initially started off with just overview, like looking at the Carnivalesque, and then we discovered that the Merry Wake was a really essential part of the Carnivalesque in Ireland. But unfortunately, we just thought that the Merry Wake was kind of a huge topic. So we just wanted to kind of take that down a notch and only talk about a few things within the Merry Wake, because it is only a 4-minute to 5-minute video. So the way we did that was
We spoke about the church opposition to the Merry Wake, the rituals and superstitions, and the
Keening.
And keening. And so our contributions, basically, we split those up and researched them separately and together. So we figured out what we were going to say together in the video, and we both just kind of put it together so the video flowed. So the challenges we encountered,
I'd say probably making the video. The research wasn't hard and it was really interesting, so that was kind of fun. But then actually putting the video together was a little bit more difficult, and discovering like all the problems that iMovie has and trying to like figure out what clip goes where and what pictures to put in. I think that was the most difficult part.
Yeah, we both hadn't really used iMovie before, so that was a learning experience, but we definitely think we conquered that aspect of this project.
Yeah. And then, so throughout that, we both just kind of decided, like, how we were going to do that, and it worked out fine. I think that the overall usefulness of this exercise is super important and kind of more modern, because it's a lot more fun to watch from the audience perspective than, like, a PowerPoint or listening to someone just speaking about the topic. I think it's interesting just to watch the videos and the different pictures that are involved. So I think that's what makes this exercise a lot more fun and enjoyable from the learning and from like actually researching and doing this as well.
Mm-hmm. And we also had to figure out how to be creative and figure out what we were going to do in our video and what we wanted to put in it. So I think that was also a good teaching aspect of this project.
We really had a lot of fun, actually, surprisingly, and we learned a lot, so thank you, and I hope you guys all enjoyed our video.
Bye!
Bye!